Hey, ARESxGOD, and it's time to talk about Megalo box. I'm so glad we have season 2 with one of the most amazing series. If you haven't seen season 1 of Megalo box, I highly recommend you guys check it out and then make sure you come back for this video and watch season 2. This series is so good. The art style, the atmosphere, the characters, the music also sets the mood. And we have Joe, or Gearless Joe, being back now. And it seems he has gone through some stuff. Very scruffy, very depressed, very run down. Something definitely happened with him being known as NOMAD right now. So let's get into it and talk about this episode. Now, at the beginning of the episode, I have a bit of a news article, so to say, for the fight with Yuri versus Joe, how he won everything, the start of the tournament, Megalonia. But also see in the crowd, there's this guy, which I think it might be one of the characters we meet later on, Chief. I'll talk more about him. He might play an important role moving forward, probably get Joe out of his rut, the depression hole he's in right now, because we have him back in underground fights known as NOMAD, older, and he's actually using gear now. And he's very, I don't know, he looks like a bum, honestly, very depressed. He wins the fight very easily against this Kiria guy, but everybody was just bored. He kept beating on him, he kept winning fights, he was too good for the place he was in, and it's very understandable. You just see somebody just beat up, beat down, completely destroying the opponent. Can't really bet, no entertainment into that. I can understand that, but also very curious how he got to this point. He also has a new rule for him: no fixed fights, and he definitely needs a proper opponent to fight against him. He's also taking pills right now. He seems very sick. Something happened to him. Like I said, he looks like a bum, drinking all over the place, living in rundown places, outside also rundown hotels. I don't know how he got to this point after the events of season 1. He was the champion. He's even a legend now in the Megalo box world, so to say. I don't know. Something definitely happened to him. But it might be related to this, I don't know if it is, because there's a background news on the TV. A typhoon apparently wreaked ravage all over the area over there. A lot of people were lost, they're still not fully recovered, so maybe he lost somebody there, something happened with the typhoon, or maybe it's not at all related to that typhoon, because throughout the episode I think what he saw of Gansaku or Nanbu were hallucinations. So is Nanbu dead? He didn't die in season 1. I actually had to go back and check to see if I remember correctly the end scenes, everything what happened in season 1. And throughout this episode he kept seeing Nanbu. The first time we see him, Nanbu says that Joe wants to be punished. So something happened in the past, or he did something, or something happened that he regrets very badly for him to be in this state, which I'm very curious. Now, we found out more about the boxing world with the new top dogs, top guys. Edison Liu, the champion, versus Mac Rosario. And Joe was actually trembling when he heard about the fight. And apparently Yuri was the mentor of Liu, and Liu actually won a fight against Joe. Granted, it was an exhibition match, and that caused Joe to drop off the map. Now, I don't know what happened for him to lose that fight. Is Liu that strong, or was he just not in top form the way we see him now as NOMAD, completely depressed, not in control of his emotion, physically, mentally wise? Everything is just run down with Joe. We even have him going at this bar, and I gotta say that atmosphere of the bar just sets you in. You feel like you're exactly there. The art style, the music, the direction, everything just feels so good, and I'm glad it's back in top form with Megalo box. drinking pills. Like I said, he is very, very shitty right now, in a very shitty mood state, however you wanna call it. But he was even crying when he was looking at those painkillers, so something very painful must have happened in his past. And this is where we meet the old dude, which I'm not sure he was the one in the crowd, but he might have been. And he was the one that first approached him, telling him, don't take those with drinks, when Joe was just passed out on the bar on the counter there. Now, I don't know if he wanted something more from Joe, because they're gonna meet again. We have Joe in the bathroom throwing the pills all over the place, mad. He picks them up again, so he might be addicted to those pills if he even picked them up again off the floor of that proper establishment, so to say. And thanks to that, we get some flashbacks of his previous fights and him riding a motorcycle. And apparently he got into an accident with an wolf that refused to get out of his way. Now, I don't know if he needs those painkillers because of the accident with the wolf. I'm very curious. There's some hints which I'm feeling like I'm missing something. You probably need a very big brain to catch all of the nuggets of information from this show, which makes it very amazing and highly worth it of rewatches, especially season 1, and now with season 2 being here, just feels so good. And you find the reason for his name, Nomad, because he travels from ring to ring taking fights. He kind of gathered the reputation of being the traveling boxer. And apparently this new ring that he's at, they need opponents because their fighter has been winning left and right, sort of like Joe over here, and nobody kind of wants to fight him. And Joe, the wandering boxer, volunteers himself to take the fights, but again, no fixed fights. And we have our first match of the episode, and the punches felt so good being back in the ring. We have Nomad versus Chief, the old guy at the bar, and probably the one in the crowd, which I hope he was the one in the crowd. I don't know, I'm very, very curious. And damn, he's good, he's pretty good. Or at least he's in a much better state than Joe. Even though Joe landed a really good body shot, we have Chief, a former pro also, steps on his foot, lands on a huge punch even though Joe defended. And the symbol on their gears kind of triggers something in Joe. Round 1 ends. And this is where we have him hallucinating again, Nanbu, which I feel like they're hallucinations, honestly, because he just pops in, says the right thing to trigger Joe, kind of pushes his buttons, says the correct thing, telling him to get your shit together, get your head straight, stop punishing yourself for whatever happened. And I'm so sure that Nanbu is dead. I just don't know what happened to him. It's probably related to how Joe got into this state. Even though Joe got a bit more serious, Chief was still in control of that fight. And he knew that Joe was on the meds, he was in a dizzy state, so to say. It's not very good to be on painkiller meds if you want to have your head straight on. Chief was the one who landed the huge punch on Joe, and we have Joe being down. Now, I thought he was gonna lose this, but we have Joe coming back up again. He felt that punch, and he starts just going wild a bit, punching more air than actually proper technique, proper fighting. He felt like a wild animal a bit. Even though he got sort of a bit more control back, he wasn't really in top shape, so to say, even though he got a bit of determination back. And we have Chief going down for from an apparent huge punch, but he kind of dodged to avoid fatal damage over there. And Joe even said it, that punch wasn't enough. He felt himself that wasn't enough to take him down. But we have Chief actually staying down, and we see in the background those manager guys were fixing the fight, even though he said no fixed fights. Yes, the world doesn't really take kindly to what you want, and that's a very good lesson, especially in Megalo box. And we have Nomad winning because he didn't actually win, and he's very visibly mad. He actually goes in to confront Chief in the parking lot. Chief tried to play it dumb, saying, hey, it's fine, the crowd was pleased, it worked out. But Joe has his principles. Even though he's in this shitty state, he still wanted to win the fight properly, or even lose. They even start fighting again. Joe tries to attack, but Chief kind of returns the favor with that body blow over there. And yeah, I hope we're gonna see Chief again, because I feel like there's something more to him, especially related to Joe, if he even is the guy in the crowd. And I kind of like him, honestly. I don't know, he seems like a really interesting character. Hopefully we're gonna see more of him. Now we have Joe finding the body of that wolf, or was it another wolf? I think it was probably another wolf. He buries it, gives it a proper burial, and he sleeps in a rundown bus, abandoned bus over there with fire, and starts hallucinating Nanbu again. Now this is where you get confirmation that Nanbu is a hallucination. With whatever happened to him, he probably died, most likely, even telling him it's been 5 years since that. So something happened 5 years ago with Nanbu. It might be the reason why Joe is in this shitty state, and tells him what's next now. And this was the first episode, and honestly, just so good. I'm glad it's back. I'm glad I'm back to doing videos with this new season, first series, and I highly recommend you guys check out season 1. Such an amazing series, and we have season 2 now. I'm excited for next episode. Now I leave off the question to you guys. What do you think about first episode? What do you think happened with Joe to get him into this state? No spoilers. If you have any spoilers, please just keep it anime only. If you know something, please don't tell me. Let's just keep it properly. Now let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, it really helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Megalo box. I'll see you again on the next one. Bye bye.